Get 3 months of local news for just 99 cents a month. You'll get unlimited access to the news you need to stay engaged and connected to your community. Visit duluthnewstribune.com/subscribe now to get 3 months of local news for only 99 cents a month.
Hello, Northlanders. It's Monday, June 12th. I'm Wyatt Buckner with your Duluth News Tribune Minute, presented by Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union.
The average MPECU member saves over $785 a year in better rates and lower fees. And with MPECU, every ATM is your ATM. With their free checking program, you get ATM fee reimbursements at any ATM anywhere in the U.S. Check out Minnesota Power Employees Credit Union's services online at mpecu.com or visit their offices in downtown Duluth, Arrowhead Road, or Miller Trunk Highway.
Now here's a look at today's headlines. The number of electric vehicles in northern Minnesota has increased dramatically over the past 4 years, but with Minnesota Power's electric vehicle charger project delayed and similar federally funded projects in their initial planning stages, the needed infrastructure to support the electric vehicle ownership boom remains on the horizon. In September 2021, Minnesota Power announced its plan to install and operate 16 fast charging stations across northern Minnesota, the construction of which was to be completed in 2023. But they haven't been built so far, and supply chain delays and a continued search for contractors have caused Minnesota Power to potentially push the completion date to 2024, according to Katie Fry, Minnesota Power's manager of customers and services. Minnesota has gone from approximately 10,000 registered electric vehicles in 2019 to over 34,000 as of January 2023, according to data from the Minnesota Public Utilities Commission. While the vast majority of these vehicles are in the Twin Cities metro area, northern Minnesota has seen a dramatic increase as well. Duluth's share of registered electric vehicles jumped from 80 in 2019 to 328 in 2023, and the number of electric vehicles in Minnesota Power's service area has nearly quadrupled over the same period, making it the utility with the 7th largest number of registered electric vehicles in its service area. The city of Duluth currently owns charging stations under Canal Park Solar Array and another by the St. Louis County Depot. Duluth's Planning Commission has discussed the possibility of requiring charging stations as part of a proposal to rework the city's parking requirements, but tabled the measure at a hearing in February. The Planning Commission does plan to revisit the proposal in the next few months. Justin Utanen, founder and CEO of Cedar and Stone Nordic Sauna in Duluth, has set out to offer an experience like none other in the United States, a floating public sauna, which he hopes will be operating in time for this year's FinFest from July 26th to July 30th and All Pints North Brewfest on July 29th. It has been a decade since Utanen and his wife had their first floating sauna experience on the Baltic Ocean while traveling abroad to Finland, and, according to Utanen, the floating sauna will be the first of its kind. At an over $100,000 estimated cost, it is Cedar and Stone's most ambitious project yet. A fundraising goal of $60,000 was set. About a quarter of the amount has been raised so far, Utanen said. The 13 by 36 foot barge will feature a wood-fired sauna fit for 10 to 12 people, with panoramic windows, a rooftop deck, and diving board. The floating sauna will live year-round in the slip between Bayfront Festival Park and Pier B Resort Hotel. Group and public sessions will take place 5 days a week from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Each year, Cedar and Stone invites 3,000 to 5,000 guests to sauna and cold plunge, in addition to building custom saunas for customers across the country. Dale Williamson now joins us with a special guest.
Thanks, Wyatt. I'm joined by one of our colleagues, Duluth News Tribune arts and entertainment reporter Jay Gabler. And Jay, there's a story you're working on that we'll be able to see in Wednesday's print edition of the Duluth News Tribune. We can also find it online prior at duluthnewstribune.com. And Jay, you were telling me this involves a change at the Amazing Alonzo bookstore. What more can you tell us?
That's right. This is all about a man named Eric Plum, who is now the owner and manager of the Amazing Alonzo bookstore. That is the Endion neighborhood bookstore that is Duluth's oldest continuously operated independent bookstore. It was founded in 1982 by his mother, Barb Plum, and her uncle. Barb Plum died last year, 2022, and now Eric is taking over. He's moved to Duluth with his family, and he plans to continue his mother's legacy while adding some improvements and some new inventory items, including, that's right, vinyl records.
I imagine there's a lot of history with this. What was your biggest takeaway from having a chance to cover this story?
It was amazing just to get to sit there for an hour talking with Eric and one of his employees, and realizing that in these independent businesses, as a customer, you might just pop in, poke your nose around, see if there's a book that interests you, maybe stop by again sometime. But, it's just a quick visit for you as a customer. But for this family, this is their whole world. Barb Plum kept this bookstore open when it was profitable, when it was not profitable, through a huge period of change in the bookselling industry. But she kept at it because she believed in it. She believed in the model, and her customers believed in her and loved coming in to trade in their books, get new books, catch up with Barb and the other members of the family and employees. And so it's just really amazing that she kept it going for so long. And Eric said that it has always been his dream to take over for his mother.
Is there anything in particular you hope our audience takes away from this story?
Well, I hope that they learn a little bit more about the landscape of independent bookselling in Duluth. We have 3 big independent bookstores. There's Zenith Bookstore out in West Duluth. There's the bookshop at Fitker's. And then there is the amazing Alonzo. And I talked to people from all 3 of these bookstores, and they emphasized what a community it is, how they want to support each other and make Duluth more of a attraction for book lovers, even more than it already is. And the Amazing Alonzo, is a paperback exchange, meaning that you can take your used books there and they will buy them for store credit with a fairly generous policy. If you want to take your old books in and trade them in for replacements that you haven't read, it's quite an opportunity there. One staffer said that customers will say to her, "Oh, I can sell my books here and get store credit, and I've been donating them to Goodwill like a sucker."
That's great. Of course, people will also be able to see photos from Clint Austin, correct?
That's right.
Well, Jay, we appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Dan.
And again, you can find Jay's article in Wednesday's print edition of the Duluth News Tribune. You can also find it online prior at duluthnewstribune.com. Wyatt, back to you.
Thanks, Dan. Now here's a look at your forecast, brought to you by Superior Telegram's history podcast, Archive Dive.
Weather for the Duluth area today, looking at warmer conditions with mostly sunny skies. High temperatures back into the mid-70s to start off the week. Temperatures around 50 degrees tonight for the low, and then getting into the upper 70s for Tuesday, holding on to the abundant sunshine. For Wednesday, more sunshine and breezy conditions, highs in the low 70s. I'm Storm Tracker meteorologist Robert Pointer.
Thank you to Archive Dive for their support. The monthly history podcast, hosted by Superior Telegram reporter Maria Lockwood, dips into the archives of historic events, people, and places around Superior and Douglas County. Look for a new episode on Wednesday at superiortelegram.com or wherever you also get this podcast. Reporting for today's episode was done by Noah Beardsley, Brielle Bredston, and Jay Gabler. Thank you for listening to the Duluth News Tribune Minute. Have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.